Hey everybody, it's Modern Refugee. Doing a designated get home bag video today, and there's kind of a reason for that. I watch a lot of bag videos on YouTube where folks lay their stuff out that they carry and kind of show what they have, but they're not heavy on the explanation why they've chosen those items to carry. And that's kind of the point of this video is I kind of want to tear my bag apart for you guys, and I kind of want to show you what I carry and why I carry it. And the first thing that I want to mention is if you're in an area where you can legally carry, because a means of self-defense and a way to defend what you have is kind of important. It's kind of your right. Don't apologize for it. This is my pack right here. It weighs 27 pounds. A lot of folks would say that that's kind of on the heavy side, but for me it's not that big a deal. I'm 250 pounds and I walk all day long carrying heavy stuff most of the time, so it's not that big a deal for me to carry something this heavy. But that gets into the kind of carry what's comfortable for you and what you think you need. You know, if you're somebody of a smaller stature or younger where you can't carry quite as much, then by all means, you know, kind of cater that to what you're physically capable of carrying. So I kind of wanted to say that. The first thing here, this actually goes on the outside of my pack. This is kind of my Gore-Tex coat. I carry this winter or summer. It goes right inside these two straps right here, just kind of threads through. This bag right here is kind of set up for summer. My winter pack's going to be a little bit different than what this is. I'm going to take some of the stuff out that I'm carrying in it right now and kind of replace it with some other stuff. But this coat right here always goes with me. It's warm, it's waterproof, and it's lightweight. It's everything that I need it to be. Kind of turn the bag here. Got some stuff I got on the outside. I got some clip clothespins, and the reason I carry the clip clothespins is if I got to use the paracord that I carry to hang up some socks or a t-shirt that got sweaty to dry out. I got a really efficient way to do that, and these guys here do not weigh very much at all. Getting over here to my knife, this is kind of my Gerber LMF right here. Kind of looks like that. It's got a nice crossover between a knife and a hatchet. It can do knife tasks, but it also can do heavier stuff too, like you know, beating around on wood and stuff like that. So it's kind of the reason I carry the LMF. It's kind of heavy duty, and the reason I carry it on the outside of my pack, it's easy to get to if I take my pack off. I'm always going to have another knife on me somewhere, either in my pocket or my belt, to kind of supplement this. This is kind of for big tasks. My belt knife or a pocket knife would be for smaller tasks. But another reason this is on the outside here is if I would take my pack off and I would need another means of self-defense, you know, I got this real handy where I can grab it. Coming over here in the summertime, I always carry one of these plastic spades with me. I kind of got into that in my bush stick video. You can take this out right here and you can whittle a stick to put it in here and give this a little bit longer reach to use. This guy's real lightweight. Pretty much the summer iteration of my pack for the last few years has carried one of these. Use it to dig a cat hole, use it to dig bait for fishing or whatever. So it's good to have a little means to dig with, so you don't have to dig with your hands if you got to dig a hole for something. Next thing here, this is kind of one of my most used items. This is my pruning saw. Just a steel pruning saw that's got a sheath on it. I zip tied the sheath to the outside of the pack. I'm constantly grabbing this to either trim wood, to get through something, or if I gotta, you know, make an improvised little project like a stick for the handle of this or something. I got this real close, real handy. I find this is the thing that I use most in this pack. So this guy rides on the outside where it's easy for me to grab. In the back here, this back pouch here, I really don't have anything in this except my little improvised fishing kit. And this is kind of a new addition to my pack. I haven't kind of shied away from carrying a fishing kit, but I've kind of decided I'm going to try carrying it for a while, see if it works for me. There's a lot of rivers and stuff around here, so if I was on an extended walk, needed to do a little fishing, I could probably do that without too much difficulty where I live here. I'm kind of swinging around here. There's a little bit of a pouch across the top here. I carry some ibuprofen and some Tylenol in a little bottle in here, because if you're taking a long walk carrying stuff unexpectedly, you're going to have aches and pains. And I found this out from hiking over the years. Even people that are in shape are going to develop aches and pains if they're walking a long distance. So this kind of stays on the outside here in case I have to grab it. Compass, kind of self-explanatory. It's always good to have a compass with you because you never know when you're going to have to orient yourself. So that's kind of the point of that. Getting down in here a little further, the other thing is a headlamp. I always carry a headlamp someplace where I can grab it easily. It's got a red light on it too in case I want to use it for a map. I like headlamps compared to flashlights because you can put it on and you can work on stuff, because 9 chances in 10 if you're going to be actually using your light for something, it's because you're working on something. You're going to be using your hands, and the headlight of course shines a light right where you're working. So that's why I carry that. The next thing here is my old beat up multi-tool. This one I've had forever, but that way I can fix some stuff. I can work on things. Again, there's multiple tools in there. It's got screwdrivers and stuff on it. It's the Gerber variation of it. Leatherman's good too. I just happen to carry the Gerber. This pouch right here is the sanitary, my sanitary pouch. I always carry soap, and I carry hand sanitizer. Oh boy, I could barely get that out there. And hand sanitizer in this pouch right here, along with my wipes, because sanitation is a big thing. Anybody that's been out and about hiking or camping or spending a few days in the woods, you're going to get dirty, and you're going to get dirty quick. So you got to have a means to kind of clean your hands, clean yourself up, because sanitation is kind of an important thing. So that's why I always carry that stuff here on a outside pouch, so it's readily available to grab. And kind of recommend, if you're carrying wipes with you, always carry that on an outside pack or outside pouch of your pack, so it's easy to get to. I'm going to swing around here to some of these side packs. This is another thing that I might want to get to quickly, and that's my poncho. This poncho I use for not just covering up, but it's also a ground cloth. It's also a tarp to go over my hammock. It's got grommets in it. It's kind of an old military surplus one. It's got a pouch, kind of folds into itself. And that's why I carry that guy on the outside here. And it's the same thing with this piece of plastic that I carry in here. This piece of plastic, same thing, ground cloth, improvised shelter. It's just half a roll of plastic cut in half, flattened out to stick in here. The next thing I got in here is a pair of socks. That way, if I got to change my socks, I'm walking a long distance, I can take my take my socks off, hang them around my neck or whatever, keep walking so they can dry out, and I can change my socks back and forth, keep my feet dry. Kind of an important thing. Keep your feet going, because it's kind of might be your only vehicle that you can rely on sometimes, is your feet. So you want to kind of carry that with you. Getting over here to the other side. Open this up here. I got all kinds of junk in this side here now. One, getting back to the feet thing, is foot powder. This is something, same thing. You don't think that you're going to need it until you need it. So, people get chafed, especially when they're walking and sweating, not used to it. But a little dash of this, in your socks or other regions of your body can come in handy. So that's why I carry a small pack of that. Then I got my fire kit here. Now I got a couple different fire kits, but this is in a Ziploc bag here. I'm going to kind of elaborate on a few of the items that I got in here just real quick. I got my Altoid tin so I can make my char cloth, and I just made a big batch of char cloth. So this right here, I can use to make more char cloth if I have to. So that's full of char cloth. I got my tinder here, which is my Vaseline. Going to show you Vaseline soap cotton balls. Got a small bottle of lighter fluid, which I recommend everybody carries in their pack. It's just so versatile. I got a little fat wood in there. I got 2 lighters wrapped in tape. And then this right here is actually my ferro rod. It's an old Gerber Strike Force that I've had for years and years and years. It's a real heavy ferro rod, kind of encased in this plastic right here. And like I said, this is kind of my primary ferro rod. I like this one. It's compact, works really good. It's got the steel on it to strike with and everything else. And then I got a small, another Ziploc bag in here. And the reason I carry that is I can pull that out, and I can use that to collect tinder with if I'm, walking to a certain place. I see some dry grass or some pine needles. I got a little bit of a pouch. I can stuff that into this Ziploc bag, and then I can use it when I get to my camp to make a fire. So that's why I carry that there in my fire kit. Oh, and then I also carry a roll of tape because you never know when you're going to have to fix something. So I like electrical tape. A lot of folks use Gorilla Tape and stuff like that, but I've always had really good luck with electrical tape, so that's kind of one of my main things. Another thing is the old, it's kind of a cliche thing, everybody's got to carry a Mylar blanket. So I've actually used this thing for a couple different things. It's kind of the thing to carry. So a lot of guys got these in their packs, and they're all nicely folded up and never taken apart. But this guy here has actually been taken apart a few times and used, so that's good. The next thing is my first aid kit. Now, my first aid kit, made it myself. I got the stuff in it that I think I need, and it's in one of those waterproof smartphone cases that cost about $5 or $6. On the outside of it, with the rubber band that I got kind of around it, I carry KT tape. KT tape is kind of like it's a little bit like an ace bandage, but it's tape, so you can use it to tape a knee up, you can use it to tape an ankle up, elbow, something that's bothering you, and those things are gonna, you know, maybe bother you if you're taking an unexpected 25-mile walk. So I want to have something like that. It's kind of goes in conjunction with the ibuprofen that I carry in here in case I got to you know, patch myself up or patch somebody else up. Another thing that you can use this for is you can use this to put over a blister. You can cut a little piece of this off and you can cover a blister up, and it's going to give you a little bit of protection. I'm actually going to open this up here and kind of explain a few of the things that I got in here. Some of the things are self-explanatory, and some of them are you know, I got a back up here, got a triangle bandage, I got some antibiotic ointment, I got some of these little Metalite packs, which are basically kind of like a Gatorade powder that you can mix in water to give you a little electrolytes. I got some Dramamine. I find nausea is a problem that I've run into a lot of times when we were out hiking with different folks and stuff, and there's been just multiple times where we've done things where people got nauseated either because of the heat or something like that. So I always carry some nausea pills with me, and then of course this is the lip balm here. And I got, you know, your Band-Aids and a few wet wipes, a couple larger gauze pads here, and then I got some Neosporin cream. I like Neosporin cream because if you got a wound and you pack it full of Neosporin cream, that wound can still drain. If you use the petroleum jelly stuff, you're kind of sealing it up, and then that wound can't drain. So that's kind of why I carry that. And then this is a transparent dressing right here. I believe they call it a Tegaderm. It's kind of like what they use to put over like an IV in your hand. It's kind of that plastic covering that'll cover that up. I like that because you can keep water out of a wound. So if you got a wound, you can pack it full of the Neosporin cream, and then you can cover it with that Tegaderm, that clear film, and that'll stay on quite a while. It won't wear off like a Band-Aid does. So that's kind of explanation of a few of the items there that I got in my first aid kit. I'm going to kind of swing around here, pop these straps, and get into the back part here. Now the back part of my pack is the stuff that I'm not going to get out unless I'm going to stop somewhere for a few hours and kind of make myself a little bit of a camp. So that's kind of why that sits in the back, because that's not the stuff that I'm going to be using right away. So that's the stuff that's going to kind of hang out here in the cheap seats of my pack, so to speak. And then this is probably the largest item that I carry. It's the Gore-Tex cover of a 3-piece sleeping bag system. And I got the black sleeping bag in here, which I believe is the one that's good to like 30 degrees or something. So this is why I carry this. I've spent quite a few nights out in the woods, and if you pack light, you freeze at night. Everybody wants to pack as light as possible, but when it comes to staying warm, I'm willing to carry a few extra pounds if I'm not freezing my tush off and I don't get any rest. So the reason I carry this, this is waterproof because it's Gore-Tex, and even if I got to lay someplace that's damp or if it's drizzling or something, this is going to keep me dry. So that's kind of why I carry this. And like I said, this right here is probably 30% of the weight of my pack, but I feel it's necessary, so I bear the weight happily because I want to stay warm. In the back side here, another thing that I kind of just recently added is a hammock. I've been kind of sleeping in a hammock. Did a couple couple of trips, and I've been practicing kind of sleeping in hammocks in the backyard. I kind of find these fairly comfortable, easy to put up. Plus, this is going to sound really weird, but I kind of don't want to be on the ground if I don't have to be. I'm kind of one of those folks that is allergic to poison ivy, so I don't want to run the risk of getting a good case of poison ivy when I'm, you know, trying to get home, or I'm out in the woods for a couple of days. I kind of want to mitigate that. And the best way to mitigate that is to get up off the ground. So that's kind of another reason why I've chosen to carry a hammock with me. A lot of folks are bothered by bugs. I'm not bothered by bugs as much as a lot of people, but like I said, poison ivy I am, so I kind of want to be up off the ground, and that's kind of the point of this right here. It's got real good straps that came with this one, and it's got real good clips to hang it up with. And I've actually got one of these hanging in my backyard right now just to kind of test it out. It's been hanging there for a few days. It's going to keep hanging there because I kind of want to see how wind and rain and everything affects the straps on it and stuff, kind of affects the quality. So, but I feel that I need this, so I'm carrying that. Getting down in here deep here, this is another thing that I always carry. I carry a backpack stove and canister of gas. Sometimes you don't want to start a big fire, but you still want to make a little coffee or something. So this is the easiest way to do it. You can slap a bush pot or a tin cup on here, and you can boil yourself some water. This stuff doesn't work quite as good in the winter as it does the summer, but I still feel it's necessary, so I carry it with me. It doesn't like a lot of cold, so sometimes if you're carrying these, you got to carry them closer to your body to keep them warm if you're using them. That's kind of a wintertime adaptation to use this stuff. But I find that the cons of this aren't near as good as the pros, so this is why I carry this in my pack. And then the next thing is I kind of got a bush pot here that I've decided to start carrying, because my friend Uncle Bumble, he carries something similar to this, and he kind of showed me how he hung it with the fish spreader and stuff. So I kind of found another bush pot, and I modified it. And this is actually a new cup here. I kind of took this, I don't know if I can pull this apart here for you real quick. They kind of fit into each other. I got one that I've actually had for a long time that's got an L-shaped handle, but that handle doesn't fold, so I kind of decided to switch to a folding handle design. Makes it a little more compact in my pack. I like these metal cups like this. Not only can I use it to boil water over that little backpack stove that I just showed you, but I can also use this to dip water and fill my water bladder that I'm going to get to here in a minute. Filling those water bladders with those narrow openings kind of sucks. You just can't stick those down in the water and have them fill up. You got to have some type of container to do that, and that's kind of why I use this here. And this particular pot here, I drilled a couple holes in it so that fish spreader will work as a hanger, but then this folds over, so I got a little bit of a lid here too. I also included some alligator clips where I can clip this lid on tight if I want to cook something in there and kind of keep all the steam and stuff in. So that's my bush pot. Gloves. Everybody should carry gloves, and like I said, with the whole poison ivy thing that I was talking about a minute ago, I don't want to be touching a lot of stuff without some gloves. The other thing too is if you're cooking over an open fire, that bush pot, you want some kind of protection on your hands, because you don't have a pot holder with you when you're out in the woods, so you got to have something to grab onto hot stuff with, and then that's why another reason why I carry gloves. Stick those back in there, and then of course the old schmog. Everybody's got to have a schmog, right? You can use it for a bunch of different things. I find that the thing I use this for the most is keeping the sun off the back of my neck so I don't sunburn when I'm walking. Another thing is I find dipping it in cold water to keep yourself cool. That's the other reason that I use this. Kind of an important thing in my mind to have something like this with you. Kind of flip this guy now flat. I'm going to show you this right here. You can kind of see here my zippers. I didn't really explain that earlier, but my zippers here, they're all them double zippers. And I actually kind of take these zippers and put them in on each other, just kind of like that. That's so they don't work themselves loose while I'm hiking and moving. So this pouch right here is kind of designated food and water. And open this up here. Got quite a bit of food in here. I'm going to quick go over some of the stuff, but this food is This is a field stripped MRE. I took 2 MREs, took all the stuff out of it that I didn't want, put it all back into one container and taped the heck out of it. And that's what this is right here. This is actually 2 MREs. So that's probably at least 3,000 calories. I find the more I hike, the more I do stuff outside, you know, carrying packs and doing stuff, you burn a lot of calories doing that. I mean, you might burn a couple thousand calories in a normal day, but if you're carrying 25 pounds in your pack and walking 10 miles, you are going to burn double that. And when you finally do sit down, you are going to be starving. So one thing that I keep adding more and more to my pack is food, because I don't know if I gotta walk home, if that's going to take me a day, if it's going to take me 3 days. If something happened, I got to go around the long way, it's going to take me 5 days, because you just never know what's going to pop up that you might have to go around where you just can't go right through stuff. So I always want to have extra food with me. I kind of like MREs because they're kind of fortified to the hilt. I don't know what they put in them for the soldiers, but those MREs, they got a lot of nutrition in them, and usually after I eat an MRE, I feel pretty good for a couple hours. So that's kind of why I like MREs, but that's not the only thing that I carry food-wise. This is my water kit here. I'm going to get to that in a second. I carry stuff that's, you know, that I could eat without having to, you know, do anything to it, like, you know, nuts, fruit, that kind of stuff. I carry, like these home-style potatoes right here. You can actually cut the end off of this right here. Kind of hold it with those gloves that I showed you, and you can pour boiling water in there, stir that around good, and you can eat that right out of this pouch. You don't have to, you know, dirty a dish or figure out some way to do that. So that's kind of why I like these plastic packaged just ready food there. Same thing with canned chicken. I can open this can of chicken, I can pour this in my bush pot, I can add a little bit of gravy mix, which I got floating here somewhere. One of my pouches here. Of course, now that I'm looking for it. Trust me, it's in there. Anyway, you can take this, you can take a pouch of gravy mix, mix the two together, bring it to a boil, dump it on your potatoes. You basically got Thanksgiving dinner when you're out in the bush. Oh, gravy mix. Kind of important for flavoring. You can actually get 2 meals out of one package of gravy mix, so you can fold that up. So then, you know, I got the MRE drink mixes. I got peanut butter pouches. I got crackers, MRE crackers. I also seal up my own crackers. If you ever heard of Sailor Boy Pilot crackers, you can take those out of the package and you can vacuum seal those. They're basically the same as an MRE cracker. Drink mixes. I carry cider. I actually like this cider, and I carry coffee. And sometimes when you filter your water, you can filter out all the bad stuff to make it safe to drink, but you can't improve the taste. The taste is kind of crappy. So I use those drink powders and that coffee and stuff to kind of make the water palatable, because usually if you run it through a soy or something like that, it's going to have a little bit of a dirt taste, and you're not going to get away from that. And I don't know if that's something folks know or not, but like I said, you can get the pathogens and all the bad stuff out of it, but that taste sometimes has got a funk to it. So that's the other reason I kind of wanted to mention that. I always keep like an energy bar, granola bar on the very top part of that. As you can see, I took that out of this pouch right here, and that's if I need to grab just a quick snack out of there. I don't have to, you know, dismantle this like I've got this here. That's kind of the food that I got in here. Also, you know, typical Ramon, got to have that in there. Getting up here into the other side, I do carry a regular flashlight and a couple batteries for it. Like I said, I'm more so for the headlamp, but sometimes you want a little brighter light, and that's kind of why I carry that in there. It's a Surefire. It's fairly durable. I haven't broke one yet. I guess you can break them, but I haven't. This Surefire is probably, gosh, I don't know, probably 8, maybe 9 years old, so it's been treated me really well. Carry a couple utensils, MRE spoon and just a regular, this is kind of a heavy duty camp fork. I think I paid like 99 cents for somewhere at a camping store. It's been really good to me, so that kind of rides in there too. Now I'm going to get into my paracord here. I actually got a couple kinds of paracord. I even got some some orange paracord here. And the reason, sometimes when you string up paracord, you don't want to walk into it, so then you want to use the orange stuff. You know, you string a little bit of a clothesline across where you're camping or whatever. You don't want to walk into that, so sometimes you want that brighter, so that's why I carry a little piece of brighter paracord. I kind of rewrap this paracord right here so it's easier to take apart. Sometimes those factory, you know, wrap jobs, like going to Walmart, you see that the paracord, that's all wrapped up in a really tight little ball like that. Well, to take that apart in a hurry, it kind of sucks. You're kind of rolling it, and it's flipping around on you, and it doesn't come apart very easy. So I actually take my paracord and I rewrap it into a more of a easier to dispense ball, so to speak, so I can, I guess the technical term would be deploy it quicker. So it's kind of why I do that. Getting down here to the end of what I got in here. I carry a crank radio. I've carried a crank radio for actually quite a while. It's got a light on it and stuff, so it could be used for a light, but I basically carry this for a radio. So if I need to hear what's going on or something, I can crank this a couple of times, turn it on, see if I can get any local news or weather for where I'm at. It's just a real basic one. Didn't cost very much when I bought it, and I've actually used this quite a while. I haven't had any issue with this whatsoever. Like I said, I like to be able to hear news or something, what's going on, because you know, if the phones don't work, which is entirely possible, or something goes wrong with the internet, maybe the FM radio stations or AM radio stations might still be able to get a signal out. So I'll have some way that I can pick up that signal. And the other thing is some earphones, so I don't have to have a radio blaring around my little campsite. I can plug that in and I can just kind of listen to it without, you know, broadcast any more noise than I absolutely have to. So I carry just a real cheap pair of headphones with me too, for that simple reason. I can don't have to have my radio kind of broadcasting where I'm at, so to speak. But that's kind of the gist of my bag here. You can kind of see, got a big old mess here of everything that I pulled out of there. But like I said, I thought it was kind of important to explain some of the things that I carry in my bag. Oh, I almost forgot my water pack. Got ahead of myself there. But anyway, this is my water pack. And I did a water video not too long ago about 2-liter bottles, where I also got into some of the stuff that I got in this pack here. Carry the old iodine tablets. Pretty much everybody should carry them, just for the simple reason is if you don't have time to filter your water, you can fill up a container, throw some of them in, and you're still going to have, you know, decent water. I carry this little pouch that comes with this, but I don't use this much. I just kind of carry it. This is going to sound really weird, but I kind of actually use it as a wrapping for the other stuff. I can wrap it around, rubber band it, it holds it together good. I got 2 Sawyers here. This one here is hooked right directly up to my platypus bag. And this is kind of my preferred method of getting water when I'm out. I'm going to take that metal cup there. I'm going to fill up this platypus bag with this right here, with that end, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to screw this on. And I'm going to take this little piece of paracord, I'm going to hang this up. And I can also put this into my pack, because I got an actual spot here for my water tube to come out. So I can actually see that right there. I got a spot there where my water tube can come out, so I can actually use this on the go too. And as I'm using it, it'll filter the water. Another thing that I like with this here is I can filter some water into this tube. I can unscrew this. I can bite this bite valve and I can blow back through this the water that I just filtered, and that'll back flush this, so then you can keep this up and running. And I actually decided recently to carry a spare with me. They don't weigh a lot, but that way if I have somebody with me, they got a water bottle or a pop bottle, I can give them that so they can filter their own water. So that's kind of my my water kit. And then, like I said, I've got my filter, I got my iodine tablets, and I got a way that I can boil water. So I got 3 different ways that I can sanitize my water. Now, I'm not going to carry a ton of water with me. I do carry water in my vehicle, so I might decide to fill this up before I even start, but I might not. If I gotta just grab my bag and go and I don't have to do anything, I still got ways that I can grab water. Like this time of year, there's water all over the place, so I wouldn't be at a lack of water right now. But if it was later in the summer, early fall, when it tends to be drier by me, then I might grab some extra water with me. But anyway, like I said, this is kind of the stuff that I carry, and hopefully I explained some of the reasons why I carried this stuff, kind of got into a little bit more detail with a few of the items. So anyway, this is a Modern Refugee. I hope you guys got a little bit of information, a little entertainment here from my video. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. I hope you guys are having a great day. And like I said, if you got any questions, throw them down in the comments. I'll try to answer them the best I can. Just kind of wanted to put this video out there to kind of explain why I carry some of the stuff that I carry. I thought might be helpful for somebody. But anyway, you guys have a great day.